All right, dear people, great to see you today here in a brand new podcast. And whilst I was always, used to doing things in the Dutch language, this would be probably the second podcast that you're viewing, which will be in the English language. And we got a really special guest today here with us, who I'll introduce in just a second. But before we do that, it's the For Your Success podcast, the podcast for aspiring and current entrepreneurs or people that are looking to improve their life or their business. And we always invite, people that are an inspiration to you, that you can learn something from, that you can grow, that you can, make your life even better and accelerate everything that you're already currently doing. So without further ado, like I said, we have a special guest today who is Steven. I've known Steven for the past, I would say, a year and a half, 2 years. Steve has actually been someone that has, joined my program, gone through the program, now has his own things going on, and has, grown a lot in that specific process since starting with me. But we have a lot of things to cover. So, Steven, first things first, thank you so much for being on the podcast, on the For Success podcast. You're basically a part of For Success as well. So it sounds weird for me saying like, welcome to the For Success podcast, but it's great to have you here, man. Great that you wanted to make some time and have a chat today and see where it takes us.
Yeah, thanks. And speaking of weird, it's weird listening to you in English when we always talk in Dutch, right?
But we speak in Russian, no?
Yeah, okay. Let's. Yeah, but not this podcast. We don't want to get cancelled, right?
We don't want to get cancelled.
Let's keep it chill and civil.
100%, man.
But glad to be here, Stefan. So it's really nice. I've honestly been looking very much forward to the day that you would ask me to do like an interview, and now you're doing the podcast. I've been waiting for this for a year. I was like, well, the moment I get to do that interview, and I've told you this several times, it will be the best interview of your life. And I don't know if I can still uphold that, knowing the great guests you've had. But I will try my best to make this a really informative and funny and great podcast that I would listen to myself. So let's just get right into it.
Amazing, man. Amazing. Great to have you here, like I said, and then amazing that let's see where it takes us, man. It might be the best one. So hopefully we can make it as valuable as possible
I'll
for
try.
the audience. So with that being said, man, take us to the early ages of yourself. Like, where did you grow up? Like, where did the
That
journey
early, huh?
start?
All right.
Yeah, 100%. We want to know all the nitty gritty things, man.
Oh,
in this
man.
podcast. So,
I don't know.
talk us through.
How many hours do we have, man? How many hours do we have?
About 6.
Six.
About
All right.
6.
I don't know if that's enough, to be honest. Like, this is oh, man. All right. Now, I get the question. I like the question. So it's a pretty good one. I might have to think here and there, but let's talk about the entrepreneurial side of things and why I decided to go down that road. When I was really young, well, I'm talking about joining high school, I think I got very certain expectations from family members that were slightly older than me and that went into high school before me. And then, they told me, elementary school sucks. I don't want to swear. I'm going to try and keep it as civil as possible. It sucks. And I'm like, and they're like, okay, well, high school is great. You get all of these different topics and you can learn a lot of different things like chemistry and science and all of these great things. And I'm like, wow, that sounds amazing. I can't wait to get out of elementary school. And then I go into high school and it was one of the biggest letdowns of my life. You know how it is. It's the Netherlands. It's not that great. But that's my personal perspective, of course. For everyone, it might differ. And that's the first time that I really had like a shattering expectations versus reality moment. And that just kind of kept building up. And now very often when I talk to aspiring entrepreneurs, very much like myself as I was a few years ago, is that I hear that they don't really like how the system works and they want to escape the matrix, quote unquote. Now, I personally have no opinion on escaping the matrix like people want to, but I really understand where they're coming from and what they're getting at, right? I hope that makes sense. I personally also did not want to be part of a number system, and I decided, well, the only way that I can do that is by becoming an entrepreneur or a business owner. And I also have a few business owners around me in my life, and they have luckily given me a lot of advice that I could utilize for myself to actually become an entrepreneur as well. Like a lot of great things like taxes, which is pretty difficult if you're a starting entrepreneur and you don't know how taxes work, especially in a country in Europe like it's very difficult, right? And then there's countries in Europe, and then there's the Netherlands, which is like even more difficult than any other country in Europe when it comes to taxes. So that's great, and I've had a lot of motivation to actually become an entrepreneur. And then I found your program, Stefan. I remember very vividly. I decided to stop watching social media stuff, and everything was going great. But I got a little bit bored. Some of my friends told me, "Hey, man, just download TikTok." So I did. I never used it before, and I will never use it again. By the way, I used it for like a week, and that was more than enough. But in that 1 week, I kept seeing your advertisement for the agency Blueprint, which was the main program that that led to aspiring entrepreneurs to actually become entrepreneurs and business owners and grow from there. And I thought to myself, maybe this is the time to actually start up something for myself. And very interestingly enough, this is something that might be very vague, very holistic, maybe even. But I was reading this book. It's called Think and Grow Rich. It's a very, very small book. It was like one of the first books I read. I got it from someone that I know. And when I read it, the author was constantly talking about making 10,000 euros or dollars a year, or a month. Sorry, not a year. Thanks. But a month. And then I saw a few videos of a YouTuber that I used to watch a lot called Hamza, who also talked about making 10K a month. And then I saw your ad where you were also talking about 10K a month. And I was like, all right, well, I guess the stars are aligning. But I was like, I'm done with waiting. Like, I was essentially waiting for doomsday to happen. Like, I was comfortable with the position I was in. I didn't really have like a job. I had a job every now and then, like a summer job or something like that. I was constantly swapping college courses or uni courses. It was just leading up to nowhere. So I decided I need to take the step now. I've always wanted to do it since I went to high school. The very first year I wanted to do this. So why am I still waiting? What am I doing? Right. So that's how I got to you. That's how I met you. And from the very first moment, it feels a little bit awkward saying this to you in your face, but like I did kind of look up to you. Like, not kind of, like I did look up to you. Like you're a big business owner. Like it's the way it is, right? And I was like, I want to be just like that. And this might be a little bit cringe what I'm about to say, but I think of you as competition, and I will beat you one day. I will, and I say that with conviction. Like, I know that I'm going to do it. Might take years, maybe even more years than years, but it's gonna take a while. But I will beat you, man. So that's where we are, because I got that competitive drive. I really do.
Awesome, man. Great introduction in terms of like, bringing us into the entrepreneurship. So let us take a step back. And by the way, about competition, I don't, I always say, and one of the people that I've been talking with a lot, surrounded with Bob Proctor and all these big people, they always say there's no competition. There's no such thing as competition. There's only yourself as the competition. That's the only thing that there is, right? There's only you against yourself. That's it. And the only limits that you put on yourself will be the ones that will limit you into achieving your goals. That's how I see it. So on just on that note, I love the competitive drive, which is something that when I I always talked about in the program as well, and Steven of course knows, it's always becoming better, like blowing everyone out of the water. Now when you get to a stage that it's that you've seen it all and you've gone through it all, then it's okay, how can we become the best that there is, right? And it's like a David Hawkins talks about this, right? The levels of awareness, the levels of energy. So when you look at, for example, the levels of energy in terms of peace and like the top energies, basically, there's no such thing as that, which is a whole different topic that we can go
I
into.
get it. I get it. No, I like that. I like that. Right? I like the topic switch, but it's very, like, when I hear things like this, I feel like it's a little bit too holistic for me, if that makes sense, right? You get what I mean? I get it, and I understand it, and I kind of understand, like, if you are in a certain position in society or with yourself or with your business, then you are allowed to say things that make you feel or think a certain way. Like, the way you think makes a lot of sense looking at the position that you're in. But when you're in a position like mine, you're in a very competitive drive. There's a big market out there. And the way I look at it in competitiveness is that I like to take the positive things from other people that they are applying to their businesses or to their daily lives that I could do as well, take that for myself and utilize it and see if I can do it slightly better. And I think that's a healthy way to run competition. You don't always have to make it about money or wealth or fame or whatever. It can be about anything that you want. You can try and utilize it for good things. So that's how I look at holistic things in general. Like I always look for the back tone, like if it makes sense, right?
As long as the mindset is to never that you, I mean, if you love competition, you never lose, right?
Yeah,
So meaning competition is good. It's good. The overall word in a sense itself is something I've come to the realization for myself, where it's much of a higher perspective type of thing, where I see things like you're just so good that it just doesn't exist. Like there's nothing to it. So that
right.
brings you into a different state of mind as well in terms of. But I love the word competition because it shows that you have willingness. It shows that you have a drive to become better, right?
For
And
sure.
I think that's just really important. So on the topic of you starting entrepreneurship, which is of course a completely different field than going to school and doing the work in that sense. Did you have like was like starting an agency your first business, or did you have other side tangents or side hustles before that?
That's a great question. I mean, technically, like officially, yes. Officially, it was the first business that I went to our municipality, and I signed up for to officially have a business, right? So officially, yes, it is my first business. However, it's not my first experience starting a business. I remember wanting to. Oh man, I remember like I had like this idea, and we were just this close to starting that we had like a kind of like a Dropbox that you could order with like with like Asian candy and stuff like that, like Asian sweets and goods and stuff like that. Like we thought that it would be a great model, like we had everything worked out. But then when we were about to do it, we decided not to because it's kind of difficult with health regulation and border checkups. So we decided not to do it in the end. We'd have to like order from like local local shops that have like varying goods from Asia. But when you actually go to Asia, it's not even comparable. The goods that they have there is like night and day when it comes to comparison. So that was one of the things that I wanted to do. Something else that I wanted to do is also YouTube, which I would also treat that as a business, not as a hobby or a lifestyle, like an actual business. Thinking of ways to monetize YouTube aside from just running ads on YouTube, which luckily I have picked up again because it is one of my dreams and goals to actually have something running. I don't need like 1 million subscribers or anything like that. I just want to have like a nice tight knit community where I genuinely help people with not the per se like advice, but just like things that I've gone through myself and things that I want to go through and tell people my perspective on things, because I feel like those are the kinds of videos that reel you in the most. It feels very much like Sam Sulek's videos. I don't know if you know Sam Sulek. It's very chill, it's very laid back, and he just tells you what's going on, and he just tells you as it is, without any editing, without anything like that. And people appreciate him for it. They may not agree with everything that he's doing, and that his meals suck. But like sorry, but people just like him for how authentic he is. And that's the kind of way I want to go. I think there was like another business I started doing, but honestly, I don't even remember. That's how insignificant it was. But yeah, like I said, this is the first official business that I genuinely put like my heart and soul and effort into, that I'm still doing, and it is finally doing really well. Like everything that I've learned since I was working with you guys, I've applied to my own agency. Like I said earlier, with the whole competitive thing, like I've applied it to my own agency, and things have been drastically, exponentially, even increasing. So, like when it comes to like getting more clients, getting them results, etc., etc.
Got it. So walk us through, like, you. This is the first official like business that you then start. Like, people watching this, they will probably be thinking like, oh, I see this, I see that, I see drop shipping, I see, selling, like, I don't know, machines on the street, basically, where you can buy candy from, like, not the type of candy which you mentioned, but like the vending machines, right? Like like selling vending machines, like buying them and then using them and then basically doing that, like all types of crazy business ideas that you can think of these days.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
why an SMMA? Why an agency? Like, what was the thing about that you said like, hey, this might be it? Because of course, like you mentioned, the 10,000 per month, which Napoleon Hill talks about, Hamza talked about, I talk about, most of the people talk about the magic 10K per month.
Hmm.
Not really much magic about it, to be honest, because when you hit it, you're like, okay, can I do more?
And I
But
understand that now. And I understand that
yeah,
now, but I didn't back
yeah.
then. But
So
I'll
why an
tell you,
agency?
I like that question. Honestly, there's no real reason for it. I was looking at some reviews of the agency blueprint, yeah, agency blueprint, right? And I saw the deals that people were making, and I thought to myself, well, if I just have like one deal, one good deal, maybe like 1,500 euros deal or something like that, that would be enough. I don't need 10K a month, but that's probably really easy. And I mean, to be honest, it kind of is easy if you just put your mind to it. It's just that that's all that I needed with the simplistic life that I was leading like a year ago. And a lot of things have changed. Like money does kind of change a person, like whether it's like way of life or like thinking, mindset, whatever it may be. For me, it was eating more healthy, investing in a team, like investing in general, right? Like that's not something that I would think of back then. So why an agency model? Really, that's it. Like there was there was nothing to it. I just thought that the other online models, which I haven't done a lot of research back then, but like drop shipping and like affiliate marketing, like all of these things, that it didn't resonate with me. I don't really. I don't really back up those kinds of business models either. I think they're kind of they're bringing down the economy of your country, man. Like imagine selling someone, right, a garbage Chinese product for a high price that's being made there, and like with shit standards, shitty working standards. Sorry for the swear, I didn't mean to. It's just it happens naturally. I'm really sorry. It's just the kind of person I am.
It's the Russian in you. It's a Russian in you.
Yeah, I'm Russian. Don't say it too often. Don't want to get canceled. But so you sell a really crappy product made in China for very cheap, which like absolute garbage quality labor. Not that the people can do anything about it. Like China's regulations about that are non-existent pretty much, and it's sent here, and you sell it for 30x the price, and you sell it to people like people that live in the same country as you, and the product breaks very quickly. Like it's not ethical. There's nothing ethical about that. Affiliate marketing is like it's like fine. It's like whatever. And then there's agency, right? An agency, you genuinely help people improve their businesses, whether it's local or online, whatever country it may be. You can pick for yourself. You want to help someone in Scandinavia, in Scandinavian countries, go ahead and do it. You want to help someone in America, go and do it. Pick any niche you want. And that's really nice, to be honest. Like I switched niches a few times. I had to figure out for myself, like, hey, what is it that I wanted to do? Which spoiler alert, I started with personal trainers and gyms. I did a few other niches, and then I tumbled back to personal trainers and gyms, but with a completely different approach. And it just shows that I've grown as a person. I've learned from my mistakes and how I approach people, and it's like 10 times more professional now, and it genuinely works, right? That's what I
Bro,
think.
amazing. So, important question: how does someone pick out someone that they will be starting with in the online space? Because you've seen me on TikTok, then you mentioned, and you've decided a choice. Because, like I said, just to put ourselves in the shoes of the people listening, they are probably in the stage. Let's say, for example, the people that are in the stage of wanting to do something. How does someone put in the trust to actually start with something? Because there's so many stories of people starting with something, right? and not getting the right experience. What the research did you do? How did you prepare for making a step like that to invest in yourself and go with that decision?
Yeah, so I like that question, but I think it's my personal answer will deviate very very much from 99.9% of people, because for me, it was a little bit of that holistic thing that I told you about, like the magic sign of 10K a month, like whatever. But I was thinking about it, and for me, I knew that with the position that I was in at that particular moment in time, nothing was going to ever change if I did not take action at some point. Of course, there were question marks and everything like that. Like, I'd never heard about anything like this. I'd never heard about courses, like nothing like this. Like, I was taught the traditional way of things are the way to go. Go to school, get a degree, get a job, and you're set for life. I didn't think that someone else out there was going to offer their own insights on business in this case, right? Because there's a lot of coaches. There's coaches for health and fitness and, like wealth, holistic things. So many different types of coaches, hundreds, probably even thousands at this point. I know we sometimes joke about like the kinds of coaches there are. There's actually like cycling coaches and stuff, and like walking coaches. Like there's coaches for everything. But to get back to the point, I didn't think that there was someone like that back then. I was in a completely different mind space when it came to like anything, like thinking out of the box. I was always kind of thinking out of the box, but the box was too tight. Does that make sense? It was hard to open up that box. And then once I took that step, like I thought to myself, I have to take this step. If I do not do this, my life will always be regulated and difficult, and I will never get the full picture. Like the blue pill, as some people say, right? Like the blue pill.
Yeah.
Right. That's the way that I thought back then. So that's my personal experience. And when it comes to other people, from what I've noticed, they just want to take the step simply because they want more wealth, and that's fine. You want more wealth because why are people stressed out? It's because of money problems and people problems. People cause problems. People cause you stress, and that also is, it's all derived from money. So people want more money. You have no stress. You have a nice free life. Like carefree life, not free life, carefree life. You don't have to go to the store and think, oh man, I have to buy all of the things that are cheap this week or this month. Otherwise, I will not be able to get by and pay rent this month. Like, yeah, that's what it feels like it is for most people, at least people that I've personally spoken to, which I have a lot as appointment setter here. So that's what I've noticed.
Okay. So on that realm, talking about an income online, you mentioned appointment setting.
Right.
Like talk about us. Because an HC model, of course, I always say like it's the best model to start with as a beginner by far. And the reasons why I explain always it's you learn sales, you learn marketing, the number two most important things within each and every single business. Now, within sales, if we scope in, there's appointment setting and closing, right? That's how I like to structure those things. So that like in terms of appointment setting, talk us about how you got into the role of appointment setting and earning money from that and doing that as kind of a side tangent, which also improves, of course, your skills for your own agency. And then after that, I want to go into more of the agency and your journey with that and how that went and all those things. But let's get into the appointment setting. Like, how did you get into that?
You sent me a message and you asked me if I wanted to be your appointment setter. And I was like, sure. I didn't know what it entailed. I just thought, all right, let's do it. I would love to be in your team. And that was that. Honestly, I think it's a relatively new thing as well, isn't it? It feels new. It feels really new, the appointment setting and sales thing. Like this is like you had drop shipping, you had SMMA, you had affiliate marketing, and now there's closing and setting, which I feel like we're moving towards a world where freelancing is actually going to become a very big part of of online income. And it already is, but I feel like more people are going to lean towards that. And I really like that. I genuinely really like that because it's great to delegate things. It is absolutely amazing, and you know that firsthand because I'm here, right? Right? I'm doing the boring stuff.
Well, you could say boring stuff, but it's also, one thing that all of us as business owners have, have to do or have done at a certain point. So when talking about appointment setting, like what is like that skill in specific, right? Because, with the business blueprint, probably what we're creating is we're creating, of course, the agency side, the coaching side, like how to coach, but also on that front, like how to actually, have a side business that can, where you can also earn money from, which could be appointment setting, which could be closing, which could be freelancing. In that regard, like appointment setting, like what did you learn? What's most important? Like what specific traits or things did you learn from appointment setting that people could take from this call, knowing like, okay, I could implement that in appointment setting to get more
Communication,
appointments.
straight up. Sorry for interrupting, but like I just wanted to say it. Communication, like communication is key. Like whoever said that was absolutely right. First person to say that. Like the huge difference in my tonality, my speech, the way I just communicate in general with people, whether it's business related or families or friends, even, or just people on the streets. It's night and day with how it was before I started setting with you, and then like even more night and day before I started this business. Right? It's a constant learning curve. There's no one size fits all when it comes to communication. People change, the world changes, and you need to change with the world and with the people. So because they change, you need to change the way you communicate. Always. If you are going to become a business owner, you will not be able to talk. I mean, you can't talk casually, of course, but like, are you going to talk casually to a new client? No, you want to be a little bit more professional, right? Depending on the client, right? If your client is kind of like a slobby person, like, okay, whatever, you can probably be like these kind of things. That's also part of communication, being able to identify what kind of person that you are talking to, and that's a big part as well. I think that's like one of the biggest things as well. Like when it comes to communication, that actually stuck with me since I started working with you guys. Identifying people, like really identifying them. What kind of people am I talking to? Like who am I talking to right now? What do they want? Just identifying like what is it that they want? What can I do for them? Right?
How do you identify?
Well, first it's let's say we're in a conversation, right? Like, okay, I mean, this is kind of difficult, right? Because it's over the phone. But let's say I'm in a conversation with someone on the phone, or like we're sending voice notes to each other, right? I can just listen to his tonality, whether he's completely bored out of his mind. Like if he's bored, then I need to uh, like show him something or fire something up in him, like, okay, you're bored, why are you bored, let's think about it. Okay, he's probably bored because he's already heard this offer a million times before. All right, fine. Hey, by the way, what are your goals again? Oh yeah, I wanted to I don't know, I wanted to have a big house in Slovenia. I don't know, I'm just saying something, spitballing here. Oh, why do you want to have that big house in Slovenia? Oh, well, for my family, for my friends, and this and this and this. And oh, really? How are you going to do that? Actually, I'm not too sure yet, but and you keep going and you keep going and you find out what the root of everything is, and that will fire them up, right? That's for a bored person. But maybe you have someone who's completely fired up, like, oh, let's go right now. Like, all right, let's chill out for a moment here. Like, what do you really want to do? Like, why do you want to go right now? Like, what's the underlying tone? Like, having fired up people is great, but like, you also know that having them sometimes can cause a bit of chaos, especially when there's like a lot of chill people around, and then there's like one chaotic person that joins the group. Like everything just coalesces into pure chaos, right? Yes. So that's how you can identify based on tonality. And then there's like other ways as well, depending, like if you're talking to people on like via text, like if it's just text messages, you can also really identify what someone is thinking just by reading a text, which I know it sounds really simple and like it's basic stuff, but if you really, really get into it, like let's say you open your phone right now and you look at a conversation between you and, I don't know, like a friend of yours, is it really that easy to identify what that person wants? Usually you have to ask what he wants. It's a bit of sales, right? But once you get that, like it changes lives into, like it changes your life into a better one, honestly, because you can communicate more straightforward, and also just better in general.
100%, man. And appointment setting, when we talk about the topic of like, this podcast being like a overall podcast about all types of things, learning how to do chats also helps with relationships, so not only on a personal side of tangents, but also when it comes to the business side of things, which is one side where I've seen you evolve into really being able to handle these conversations like a pro, and running that smoothly with even like people that we see come through within our business, which are really funny situations when some people come through, not to mention too much about that, but we have our internal laughings about it within the For Success team. All right, so Steven, so for the people wondering here, like you joined the program, and of course we're going to be talking about a couple of different things as well, like just traveling. You went to Japan, like I want to hear more about that as well, and I think the people as well. But before we get there, let's dive in a little bit more into your agency journey and how that went with the clients that you've been, like, when you started, like how did that process go, and in terms of your clients, in terms of all those things, your experiences, and like how did that go?
Man, I'm going to be honest with you. I think that I set my expectations at the start way too high. And I think a lot of people actually have this issue and they drop off because of it. I am the kind of person that when you beat me down, no matter how hard you want to, like I will get back up, and either I will come back stronger, but usually not. Usually I'll just try again with the same pace. I don't really care. Like, I'll be honest, like I've been beaten down quite a lot since doing this, and I don't mind. They're all learning curves, and that's how I view them. I don't think a lot of people can do that. Like, people think they can until they really do. When it comes to my clients, when I started a year ago, it's slightly over a year ago, I hit my first client very quickly, very, very quickly. It was a very, very small client. It was for ads, right? Social media marketing, so it's for ads. And the budget was like 150 euros for ads and 150 for me. And this was a personal trainer who was just starting out. It didn't really work out well. I got him some leads. I don't think he got any clients from that. And if that's like the kind of experience you have for the first time, that's already kind of like it's not really that nice. So you don't want you want to hear something like, I got 10 leads and I got 3 clients. So that great, let's keep going. And because he didn't get anything out of that, he didn't want to continue. He wasn't mad or anything. He was like, well, you tried and I did, but it's just that the expectations were set too high, and because of that, he kind of had to spend up money that he worked hard for and didn't really get anything out of that. I mean, whether that still holds true to this day, I don't know, because maybe because of that ad, a year later, someone actually saw that name and was like, hey, I remember that from the ad. You never know these kinds of things. It's very hard to track. But then I got another client like a week later or something like that, which was like a studio for losing weight, like a weight loss studio, where I didn't even make any money, to be honest. Like, we had like 300 euros on ad spend, and I had taken the decision of, all right, I'm not going to take 150. I'm going to put the full amount into her ad spend so that we can actually generate results. And that was a decision that was great for learning curve. I didn't even tell her about this. She actually thought that she was paying me, but I didn't want to overburden her. Like, this is like such a bad like personality trait to have in business. Like, you have to be able to fend for yourself and say, look, I'm doing work for you. You have to pay me. You can't be weak-minded like that. Like, it's not going to happen. And I am still that kind of person that wants to help and give, but you have to be able to take sometimes, and you will give in return. Right, that's something that I learned as well. Then I got a lot of bad clients after that. A lot of bad clients. I switched my niche a few times, tried out various different things, thinking that, hey, this is going to be the next thing. This is going to fit me. This is going to fit me. No, it doesn't. And then I got to you guys, and that was actually the last time I made that switch. You remember, like we went out to dinner like a while ago, and Kaho, told me like, hey, why don't you try out this one? And I did, and then it flipped in me like, why don't I just go back to the roots, but try again? I think that will be way better. And that was the moment that everything changed. Everything changed. Like, you have to have a good approach. You have to be able to talk to people. You have to be able to identify their problems and what they need. What I see a lot of agency owners do is like, I'm going to offer you 10 leads. I'm going to offer you 10 leads guaranteed. And how we do it doesn't matter, but we're going to do it. And then all they do is like paid ads. People don't want paid ads sometimes. Like sometimes they just want something like social media management. Sometimes they want a bit of a website redesign, something like that. I think people really underestimate how powerful websites can be. I think websites can be one of the most lead generating sources for a person. Absolutely. So that's kind of like how my agency journey went. I'm really glad at where I am right now. Like I'm seeing a massive scaling opportunity. I've already told you this like yesterday, I think. Like I'm beyond happy. Like before this before this Q&A, I sent a message out to someone like, hey, is the meeting still on Monday? Which was like an insanely good personal trainer lead. And I already know he's going to get close. I have 2 insanely good warm leads ready on Monday, and when those deals are closed, like it's time to scale. Like that's gonna be like, well, life is good, right? I'll finally get to the goals that I set for myself like a year ago, right? So that's how it's going right now. It's
Awesome.
great. It feels great.
It's amazing, man. Would you say that, because you you went to Japan, when was it? Like in July, right?
Yeah, July. Yeah, like the hottest month of the year there. So I would not recommend that. I know a lot of people want to go to Japan, but not there during that time, please.
Got it. Well, before we get into Japan, like, what do you think about the entire like digital nomad? And by the way, great to hear that your agency, like, you of course give me updates all the time. So that's I hear it from your end all the time. But it's great that it's in like you see that the grass isn't greener on the other side. It's actually greener where you water it. But sometimes it takes a little bit of a circle for it to basically become like round and
What
get
kind
to
of
where
water are you
there's
sprinkling? To be honest, like I think that's what it comes down to. Are you pouring like chemical water? I think that's what I was doing at the start. I think I
yeah.
was pouring chemical water when it comes to this little thing we have going on here with the grass. But
I think we do. But in terms of you doing that and making the circle around, it's amazing, man. It's great to see that you are doing that right now. In terms
yeah,
of like to make a little bit of a like I talk with a lot of people on this podcast about like digital nomad, like being a digital nomad, working. Which in the beginning, let's be honest, with an agency, you're a glorified contractor, right? Like you're just
yes.
someone running the ads, and you say I have an agency and like but we don't, right? We don't. So like in terms of you, how is basically the because people, of course, most people that start want to have the freedom, right? Want to have the freedom to be able to, of course, not think about like what we talked about, paying, thinking about the amount of that they need to pay or something like that. But when it comes down to traveling and being a digital nomad, talk us through your experience. Like, are you more of a digital settler or a digital nomad? Like, what's kind of your style?
There's this really funny thing here where just straight after I joined the Blueprint, I went to Spain for a few days, and that was, I think, the very first trip. No, it wasn't. No, I want to say the very first trip of my life where I paid for myself. No, it wasn't. I actually did a few more. I sometimes have a lot of difficulty remembering things, but it was a good trip. It was quite expensive, and I just thought, why not? I think me and my girlfriend were together for 2 years or 3 years at that point, so we wanted to celebrate and go to Spain. It was like why not? So I did that, and I thought to myself, I was sitting there in a hotel next to a swimming pool. The weather was nice. I was right next to the beach, and I thought to myself, I just joined this program, and I'm going to have I'm going to be able to do this like whenever I want soon. And to be honest, I think you can for sure. And I realized this when in July I went to Japan, right? And I was already working with you. I had to put my own agency on hold for a bit because I wasn't really I was still figuring things out. So this was a great opportunity for me to put my focus elsewhere while I was on vacation. And what I think is important is that you have like set like when do you want to work on vacation? Like vacation is also for relaxation, right? So I think it's important to kind of like batch up your work, which is what I did. I would batch up the work and then do it all in like 1 or 2 hours, and that's how that went. And I think that was a good way that you can actually like do digital nomad work, right? You batch things up, do them all at a specific point in time, because the moments that I did it would also align with the time zones, right? So the time zone in Japan, I think it's like 10 hours ahead or something like that, probably more. I don't really remember at the top of my head, but that means that I have to try and work during Amsterdam time, right? So that was also something. So I would batch it up for Amsterdam time, which meant for me that I would usually have to work at like at night, just before going to bed. I would do it, and that was it. Japan was great. I really loved it because I was just traveling around the country, and I would just sit in the train, in the bullet train there, traveling for 2 hours. I would just work. I would just plan all of these things out. Like, when am I doing something where I am not in control of what I'm doing? I'll just do work then. Why not? All of these kinds of things. Like it's definitely possible. In December, I think the 21st or 21st of 21st of December, I will be going to Thailand as well, and I'll be traveling there as well. I'm going to do it maybe a little bit differently, but I'll see how it goes. There's also a different time zone there. I think it's like 8 hours, something like that. So it's slightly different, but I'll see how that goes. But it's definitely possible, Like these time zones are huge, and if I can do it, then you can definitely do it. If you're like a European and you're going to another European country, like you can definitely live the digital nomad lifestyle if you want. Like even from US to Europe or something like that. Like with the time zones don't matter. You just have to find time to do it. Like when are you going to do your work, right? I hope that answers your question a bit.
Yeah, 100%, man. I was just curious to know, in terms of what I've noticed a lot with for myself in terms of being like, doing the digital nomad lifestyle and all those things is that for me, it's really difficult then to like, it's either or. It's not, I can do both, which usually a lot of, if you talk about the, definition of like digital nomad, it's digitally working, from any place, everywhere, anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
right? So for me, I'm a digital settler. Like when, yeah, for example, Kaho, and for the people not knowing Kaho is basically the right hand person, running the businesses. When he and I go to a place, like we went to Dubai, for example, and the 2 days of that we went there, we only stayed in the hotel, only took room service, only went to the gym in the hotel, to the sauna, all those things. And we were like, Dubai is such a boring place, man. We were like, what is Dubai a boring place? And then we didn't see anything because we were just, we're digital settlers, which means we can, I love to settle down, work, focus, zone in, and be fully on it. Like that's just the way that I move, right? That's just the way that I do things. So when I'm going places, I'm not a digital like nomad. I don't go from place to place. I'm like settling because I know that my focus is, my willpower for a day is limited, right? So then I'm like, okay, let's focus in. But then when we went to Dubai, we're like, okay, now let's go out. And then we went out, the third, fourth day, basically meeting people. And then we're like, wow, this is such an amazing place. So I think there's like a balance between, at least for me, that's what I've learned. 4 times in a year, I take off for 7 to 10 days. That's it, every quarter. And then there, I really take off. So like, I don't work. Like I don't touch my phone, I don't check my emails, I don't talk with people, I don't do anything, right? Which is why I'm already excited to go at the end of December to take those 7 to 10 days off, because it's been a long time since I've really done that. But that's one thing that I've learned. So I was curious to know from you, Stephen, like, do you do it like that, or do you just you of course in Japan you mixed it, right? You did the work when you could do the work, but what's kind of your preferred way? That's what I was kind of curious to know.
As someone who works with you, do you want to imagine a world where I'm going to Thailand in December and you will not be able to reach out to me for 7 to 9 days? Do you really want that?
Well, for these people, it's a podcast. For me, this is just a shit test, so I can test and see what answers you're going to give, so we can have a conversation after this.
You will never get me. You will never get me.
Yeah, almost.
No, it's
Almost.
not happening. It's not happening.
No, but
I'm like the kind of guy who I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Go
I'm
ahead.
the kind of guy who I will not feel fulfilled if I haven't done anything that I know that I need to do that day. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter where I am. Like I'm gonna be gone for like I was in Japan for 4 weeks and I'm gonna be in Thailand for 3 weeks. I cannot take off. I sometimes I would like to, but when I do, like I take a day off here. I don't really take a day off because I still work at least like an hour a day, but that doesn't really count. Like you have like 23 hours left in a day. Like, okay, like you have sleep as well, but who cares, right? And then I don't feel that good if I don't go to the gym, if I don't do the work that I need to do, if I don't eat healthy or do OMAD 1 meal a day. I will not feel fulfilled. I will kind of feel like I kind of let myself down. And I have like I'm starting to run YouTube as a business at some point. I want to start building that up, and that requires a lot of work and effort. With my video editor as well, was like my right hand man, does everything with me, which I'm super grateful for. If I take off from that, it's never gonna grow. The algorithm will just like I'll show the algorithm that I don't care, and then the algorithm will never help me out. You need to work with the tools that you're given. So I will work regardless of where I am. I don't care. It's just that I work efficiently, especially depending on the day, right? Like if I'm on vacation, I really care a lot more about my time than I do when I'm at home. I don't really care that much when I'm at home. Like it kind of depends on the day, but I'm going to care more because I want to go sightseeing. I want to do all the fun stuff. I want to have nice foods and all of these great things you can do when I'm on vacation. Just batch things up and do it efficiently. That's all I care about. And I do that at home as well. I just like, I love batching things. I like to just get everything out of the way. And then you have the entire day ahead of you for the entire day. Right?
100%.
That's how I do it. Was that a valid answer? Am I still going to get the talk after the podcast?
We're gonna see.
All right.
It's a great insight, and
Right.
I think so. That's also the beauty of like having the online business. You can work from anywhere, any place, right? Like it doesn't matter like what, as long as you have a Wi-Fi and laptop, like that's it, right? You can work from anywhere, which is the beauty of it. So, in that realm, like talk to us about how. You mentioned like you have a video editor right now and assisting you. You work within our team. Talk about the importance of having good people around you that could affect the results you could be getting. Because even if people watch this and they already have a business or they're a coach or they have a lot of people around them that aren't just as supportive of them doing the things that they want to do, which I've had to deal with as well. Like just talk about to us about the importance of having the right people around you that can motivate you, inspire you, get you to the next level, and how you have kind of done that over the past year and a half, 2 years.
I absolutely love this question, man. Like, I love this question for several reasons, and I want to try my best and give you like the best possible answer that I can give to this question, because this is probably the most important like question of this entire podcast, to be honest. So, honestly, when like I'm going to start with my editor because that's where the question kind of started, right? With my editor. So my video editor for my YouTube videos is actually my best friend, who I've known for 10 plus years, maybe even close to 15 at this point. I've met him through a game called World of Warcraft at the time, and like we were best friends like instantly, and still to this day. And he lives in South Africa. I live in the Netherlands, very far apart. But he came down to my place like a year ago, about a year ago, and like we had a great time. I'll be going to South Africa next year, thanks to the agency popping off and me being able to do all of these great things. And I will be continuing the digital nomad lifestyle, of course. But the thing is, I know him so well. I know his qualities, and I know he's very much like me, but even better in some senses, as to the point where he is able to just grind. Even if he really doesn't like it, he will not batch. He will not batch up work. He will just do it like as much as he has to. But at some point, I think to myself, all right, I've batched up for 2 hours. I'm done for now. Maybe I'll do something later and I'll batch up again. But he will just consistently go. He's like, man, like there's like, I'll not say the word, but like he's like hyper focused on it. Like he's hyper focused on work. If I tell him, hey man, I need a script for my YouTube video, he will do like actual research for 4 hours straight, like watching the most mundane and boring videos that anyone can think of. And he will make like an actual nice working script that is not always the best. It doesn't have to be. We're both still learning. I think Mr. Beast himself said like your first 100 videos are gonna suck no matter what you do, and I like that. I like that. I I do not care about my videos right now. I mean, I do care, but I don't care if they flop. I expect it to happen. So I mean, I don't expect it to happen, but it's like I like it when they pop off a bit, right? Right. So anyway, so I know the qualities of my friend, and that's why I knew that he was the most suited for this task, and I want to help him because he's my friend, right? South Africa is quite a poor country, and so the charge rate is pretty positive for me as I'm paying him. It's very lucrative for me to pay him, and he's really happy with what I give him. I'm not saying I'm underpaying him or anything. I'm not that bad of a friend, but I'm giving him something that he's able to do fun stuff with, and I'm happy that he can because I am providing, and he's doing good work, and I love that. Now, to get into how important people are, I think I first really realized this when we had the first Agency Blueprint live event. I saw you guys there. We had like Stefan's team, and they were like in the front, behind like this desk, and like just answering questions and presenting and all of these things. And I thought to myself, why on earth would one person be able to succeed and be able to have a competitive edge with a team like this? It's impossible. You would have to be some kind of mastermind, and I certainly am not. I'm very humble when it comes to that. I thought to myself, I need a team. And so I started looking for people. I started looking for people left and right, a few people in our community as well, but it just didn't click. It wasn't there. Now, at some point, I did find a few cool people, so it's great. I think the best person in my team right now is my girlfriend, who knows exactly what I want and knows my vision and everything, and I'm not paying her. But it's fine because she lives in my house, and I get to take her out to dinner, and I pay for her food and all of these things. So it's all good. It's all
Where
nice
can I
and
find
good.
these team members, man? Where can I find these team members?
You need to find a girl, man. Like that's.
Nice.
I will help
Great
you
tip.
with that. But yeah, so I think the importance of having the good people around you that also motivate you to keep doing the good things. Sometimes I fall back into bad habits. I don't that often anymore. But like my girlfriend would just tell me like, "Hey, like, what's going on? Like, what is this? Like, you're sleeping too long, or you're not reading your books anymore, or something like that. Like, why you're not doing that? Like, you were really into it like a week ago, and now you're not. Like, what is this?" And she's right. Why am I doing this? It makes no sense. And when I started my agency, I only had negative people around me. Every single person out there told me, "Oh, you won't be able to do it." And the fun thing is that the people around me, I still have the same people around me. I just talk to them less and less. And then when I came back and showed them, like, "Oh, here we are," which is probably like a dream and goal for many viewers. Like, "Oh, I want to prove them wrong." Well, the fun part is that I think when you get to before you even get to the part of proving those people wrong, they'll probably change with you because they'll just see that you're doing better, and then they'll do it as well. For me, it was very much my parents. You already know the story of me and my dad, but even he has changed. His perspective on what I do. Not a lot, but it has a bit. And especially my mother, who is Russian, who really wanted me to go to school and get a degree. Like, she was like, "I love that you're doing this." I don't really believe that because for, what is it, like 20 plus years, you told me that you would never want me to do something like this. And now suddenly you do. That's weird. But that's kind of like how I view, like, people will change with you. Like, you don't have to drop people. I don't really like it when people completely drop people unless they're actual lunatics or something like that, right? Does that make sense? It's not necessary. People will change with you. It's all about your perspective of the world and what you're doing and what you want to do.
That's a great perspective, man. That's a great perspective, and amazing, man. I think that's a great insight, hopefully for the people as well, in terms of the importance of finding the right people. And I think you have an amazing girlfriend, man. It sounds like so. Yeah, definitely, and other people as
Absolutely.
well, of course, like in terms of your editor and like that. But it's the way you are is the way is the type of people that you will attract. If you have your vision set, if you have your goals in place, which is something we talk about a lot, of course, then everything will align, right? Like, for example, before this call, I was talking to you like what type of deal we are currently like we basically made. It's a really big one, so
Look at how happy
those
he
things.
is. For the Spotify listeners, he's smiling so
there you go,
hard.
guys. There it goes. Now you know it. Now
He's
you
so
know
happy.
Now you know it. But it's just manifesting, man. It's just setting your goals, knowing what you want to achieve, and then it all aligns. So, Steven, I think we could be talking, like we said in the beginning, for like 6 hours. It's already been an hour, believe it or not.
Really? Wow.
It's
I wouldn't know.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have noticed if you didn't say it.
100%. So I want to end it with two questions. And the first question that I want to end it with is, why should someone in their right mind ever even think of starting with a specific or sort of like a program like the HC Blueprint, Business Blueprint, or it's of course personal preference, and it's of course based on the person themselves. But why would someone in their right mind even get started with an online business? Like if they aren't convinced so far in terms of like what you said.
Then I don't know. They haven't not been listening. They just skipped. They're just skipping.
Let's say someone skipped to this point.
I can see the analytics. I know how YouTube works. I know what you guys are doing.
To this point. Why should someone in the right mind start an online business?
Okay, so look, sometimes I'll say it like from my perspective, right? This is how I sometimes this is actually how I view like this question. I sometimes ask myself this question, like, why would someone do this? Why did I do this? And sometimes I think to myself, wouldn't it be nice to be absolved of all of the problems of being a business owner? There are problems that come with it. I'm not saying it's easy or hard. It kind of depends on you as a person, but then I think to myself, oh, what if I had like a nice job somewhere? I think there are definitely nice jobs out there. Absolutely. I think like if you could work at like a municipality or something like that, you could land a great job. You could land a great team. Life could be great. A few days ago, I went to my grandmother. I visited my grandmother, and she lives in another town. And I had to use the highway. And I was there at 5 p.m. And that was that moment I answered my own question instantly. Okay, I know why people want to start something for themselves. This is a really good reason. I was stuck in traffic for half an hour for a town that's right next to me. It takes 15 minutes to get to the town, and I was stuck there for half an hour. That's one thing. If you want to avoid that, then you want to start something up for yourself. Okay? And don't start like a local business in another town. You're going to have that problem still. And there's also just like other things. Like I'm honestly, I'll be honest, like this might sound a little bit cringe, but I think it's a bit scary. If you're working a job, you're getting the same amount paid every single month until you ask for a raise, maybe 5 years later, and you never know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen in business either. But at least you can set some money aside for when something happens. And when you get to that point, if you've been in business for years and years, you'll have enough experience to start something up again. But if you are getting experience in only one job, you will need to find a new job with those exact requirements, right? I mean, you can try something else, but it's a hassle. Like you, at least here in the Netherlands, you would have to, I think it's like a direct translation would be like by schooling, right? Does that make sense? You would have to go back, like you would have to get like a new degree to try out something else again. And like all of these things, like they take time, money, and effort off of you. It's scary that you don't know what's going to happen to your job. If like at some point AI might take over. I know this sounds like ridiculous, right? But AI is already taking over a lot of jobs, also in the online world. So even if you are an online entrepreneur, you need to be cautious of that as well. And you need to think about, when am I going to delegate something and what am I going to delegate exactly? Is that task not going to be delegated by AI soon, right? So it's a bit iffy on both ends, but for job, like they really don't care in most jobs. You're a number. It's as simple as that. And if you want to avoid that, then start something for yourself, right? That's something that I was struggling with. Like I actually had like a bit of an identity crisis. Like I know my name. I don't want to be a number. Like they won't care, right? So that was, I hope that's an answer to your first question.
Definitely, man. Definitely. It's a great answer. And the second question was specifically on one thing I ask all the people that are on this podcast, which is, if you were, let's say, for example, knock on wood, right? We're expecting that you're going to grow old and then basically, not quickly, of course, but that you're going to,
What does
go
that even mean,
towards
man? Like grow old
80
quickly?
old that you're gonna be like 80 years old. Let's say, for example, you're 80 years old, the 80-year-old Steven. If you were to
Right.
look back at your life as the 80-year-old Steven, what would be one thing that you would look back on and that you would say, or it could be multiple things, but that you would say like, I would be proud of that I've done that I've taken the risk and done that. Now, just to give you an idea, the reason why I say this is because a lot of, you hear these stories of like elder people that say, "Oh, I regret not doing these things," or "I regret not doing
Right.
this or that." So,
Right.
what would be one or multiple things that you would say that would be something that I would have been proud of that I would have done?
That's such a difficult question, man. Man. Um, I never really think about that, to be honest. I don't really look that far into the future, to be real with you here, because there's no reason to.
Exactly.
But I guess at the top of my head, I would say that I don't know how it's going to play out, so it's really difficult. But I would just say that look, like I'm happy that I tried with online business, and regardless of whether it's going to go really well or really bad, whatever it may be, I tried because otherwise I will forever be stuck with the question of what if. Imagine that. That's not living life either, because then you'll be living until you're 80 years old, and you're just constantly thinking to yourself, what if you're in a 9 to 5? What if? What if I started an online business? Would my life be better? And then you're going to start then with very, very limited time. You have a wife, 2 kids, you have your full-time job, and you're going to start something like it's very hard. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's going to be 10 times harder than if you do it when you're young, right? You have your lackluster life. Like you can do whatever you want. You're free to do whatever you want. It's kind of like that, man. I did the same with YouTube. Like even if it's going to completely flop, um, I'm just happy that I did because it's one of my dreams, and I did it. I tried. If it's not for me, then it's not for me. Like it is what it is. But I'm going to try, 100%. Why not? I would be sad if I didn't. And that's that.
Crazy. Got it, man. Yeah, yeah, and that's I don't know if that's like the East European like mindset or something that we have, which is like just do it,
Just
don't
go, man. Like
just go
just
with
do
it.
it, man.
Just
Like stop this whining,
exactly,
all of this
exactly,
procrastination. Like just shut up,
100%.
man. Just
Yeah,
go for it.
just go, man. Don't think about it. But oh
Yeah.
yeah, last and final question I wanted to say because of course like we started later with this podcast. Otherwise we would have done it perhaps like a second part for like season 3. I don't know. We could do like a even longer one, which we kind of the first season was 20-30 minute podcast, and the second season is like 2 hour podcast. And I think I always say like with guests, the third season is probably going to be like 5-6 hour podcast. Like I'm not even joking. Like that's where I want to
I'll
you know
see you then.
move this towards. So
I don't know if that's
we're gonna
enough.
do a follow up one as well.
Oh,
So
that's gonna be a good one, man, because then you'll actually know how it has gone, like with the YouTube channel, and like I think people will be very
exactly,
interested in that.
100%, 100%. So guys, if you're looking, listening to this on YouTube, just let us know in the comments down below. But other than that, just where do you see yourself living, like in the future? Like, would that still be like because we talk a lot about the Netherlands, and I don't want to be, just to like end it off on a good note, on a positive
We
note.
talk a
Like,
lot about the Netherlands. Yeah,
where
great.
where would you see yourself living? Would that be like somewhere in Asia, or like somewhere in that specific place, or
I love
just
Asia.
going different
I love
places?
Asia. I would love to live in Asia probably, but like I thought to myself like when I was with my limiting beliefs, like when I couldn't really look out of the box, I thought to myself, yeah, the Netherlands is nice. I might even live in this town for the rest of my life. Which where I live,
Mm.
it's like I don't like now that I'm thinking about it, like I think to myself like, why the hell would I live in this town for the rest of my life? Why would I even think like that back then?
Yeah.
So I'm great that has changed. I'm really grateful that has changed. Then I thought to myself, oh, I really want to live in Japan. I love Japan. And then I went to Japan and was like, yeah, it's a great country, but I don't want to live here. They're it's a nice place as a tourist, but if you are a foreigner there and you're living there, there's a bit of discrimination, unfortunately, and amongst other things. I think it's kind of like waning off as new generations are popping off. It's mostly like an old like mindset. But if you are like far away into like the suburbs or like far away from like the big cities like Tokyo, Kyoto, like people look at you like you're some kind of alien or something like that. And I'm like, I don't know, I don't know what I did or said. So Japan, maybe, but probably not. And now I'm going to go to Thailand, also to find out if I want to live there in the future. Because I only hear great things about it. Honestly, I would like a 50-50 life where I would go to Thailand when it's cold somewhere in Europe, and then be somewhere in Europe when it's when it's hot in Thailand, right? Something like that would make sense, or like Asia or something like that. One country that really springs to mind is it's funny because I actually I can't think of the name right now. It's great. It's like whatever. Asia? It doesn't really matter.
Europe.
It's in Europe. It's in Europe. Like this one.
Spain?
Man, like
Italy.
No. It's like on the right side. Like it's whatever. Georgia. It doesn't matter. No. You won't. you won't guess it. You won't guess it. Whatever. Russia. It's not important. No, not Russia. Russia's too cold, man. Too harsh. Russia's too much. Like, and they would send me to the army instantly. It would be over for me, in a moment. Like it's over.
Makes sense. But that's the same thing. Like having the warmth in the sun is something I currently. It's the best feeling that you can have, man. It's the best. So like mixing it up when it's cold here, going to a warmer place when it's warm here, like you just stay here, like that makes a lot of sense, man. And yeah, man, like I said, we could have talked about 100,000 different things, but
Slovenia, by the way, Slovenia. I'm sorry, I was just like going ham in my head. Like I was, I think Slovenia is probably a really nice country. I have a friend living there, and I will be visiting that probably next year as well, or maybe in 2 years, just to have that 50-50 that we're talking about right now with warmth and cold. I think the country looks really nice. So. On Google Maps.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's a beautiful country. Man. It's a beautiful country. So and
Steven, nice people.
And nice people, man. Yeah, of course, it's the Balkan. So
yeah. You know how it is. Of course, it's nice. You know how it is.
Let's go. So let's say, for example, a personal trainer, even if they're listening to this and they're Dutch or from Belgium, or like they're abroad, like where can they find you? Where can people find you in general when it comes to like the agency side of things and of course your YouTube channel? Like where can people in general find you?
Honestly, I've had people from all sides just message me via YouTube, like because I have a free Discord community that is linked directly to my YouTube channel. They can just go there and then join my Discord community, and then they can just talk to me there because I have Discord on my phone and I'm on it quite often. So what you can do is you can go to youtube.com/Steven Elshoff. So that's STEVEN ELSHOF, right? It's a Dutch name, right? So you can do that, which I actually hope that's my hyperlink. I think there's like
the name Steven.
Yeah, you can just look it up. You can just look it up. But it's as simple as that. You can find me there, and you also for like the agency purpose, like whatever it may be. I think it's interesting for everyone, regardless, because I have a lot of fitness content, I have a lot of health content, and I will be uploading things in the future. I mean, I don't know when this video is going to be live, but like maybe by that time I have like some things that are really like extraordinarily like that you just didn't know were a thing, right? When it comes to like health and like fasting or whatever it may be, right? So stay tuned.
Awesome. Exciting. Nice. Exciting times. Cool, man. Well, Steven, it was amazing having you, man. It's great having you, sharing your story.
Yeah, sure.
We talked a lot about of course the blueprint itself, but we have a lot more things, like I said, we could have talked about to make this podcast like a 6-hour one. But I hope, like I said, thanks for being here. Definitely for a future reference point, we can definitely have another one while your cat is going on in the background. I think so,
it is what it is.
I think it needs some attention after an hour of podcast. But to finish it up, guys, thank you so much for listening. If you're on Spotify, if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for. I hope you also enjoyed and cracked up a little bit when we were also talking about some funny things. So that was the podcast with Steven. For now, I want to wish you an amazing day. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video or the next podcast. Bye.
Yes, thank you very much.